Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey YouTube channel. My name is Anthony. I thought I would pop on here live and talk a little bit about some Fiverr secrets. If you know me at all, or if you're new to the channel, I do a lot of voiceover work on Fiverr, and I typically make $5,000 to $10,000 a month in voiceover from Fiverr. And I thought that it would be really helpful if I came on and told a few different stories about some tips or things that I've learned throughout my journey on Fiverr for you to use, because where we start on Fiverr to make money, we're all at different places, right? From just beginning out as a new person on there, as a new seller, to first or one, two, level one, level two, and then up to top rated seller. So each one of those levels kind of requires a different take and a different way of doing it. And when I tell you it's a good idea to take it seriously, I mean, it's the tune of, like last month I made $10,000. That's $10,000 a month on Fiverr, and this year I'm looking at topping six figures on Fiverr from voiceover. So I think that it is by far more viable than most anything out there right now. But when I first started, I'm not where I was now, of course, right? So meaning that if people look at where I am now and they maybe try to copy what I'm doing or trying to figure out, like, reverse engineer it without, like, perhaps working with me, it can be a little confusing because perfect example, when I first started out, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I went on vacation and went to Alaska, and I hadn't tried out the vacation settings on Fiverr yet. And so what I did was I put I put my account on vacation, and what happened is when I came back 2 weeks later, my entire Fiverr account was like destroyed. I mean, there was no work, there was no business, everything plummeted, right? And then of course I turned it back on and then nothing happened. So I was so frustrated because, I had put all this effort into building up Fiverr, and, in my mind, Fiverr was really going somewhere, I was going somewhere. So I was like, gosh, I destroyed my business. So I'll never forget, I got my laptop, my MacBook, I laid down in the middle of my floor in my living room, and I said to myself, I am going to figure this crap out. And I remember, because I stayed up that night, I was so frustrated that I could not figure out this platform. And if you know me, I believe if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. I've always believed that. So I wanted it. So I laid there and I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. So what I came up with was I needed to test different ways to post gigs. If you don't know what a gig is an offering. Fiverr, depending on what level seller you are, they give you multiple offerings. I believe when you first start out, you get like 5, meaning you can create different gigs or offerings for people. Like, you could create a male or female voiceover gig. You can create an e-learning gig. You can create a gig for radio, a gig for characters, all kinds of stuff, right? So anyways, I decided that I was going to start testing keywords and testing phrases to see if I could figure out if people were searching more here or there. Fiverr is really good. They do give good analytics. However, they don't give analytics as far as getting you to a place where, like, what exactly people are searching. The best that you can get is if you go into open like an incognito window and open up that window and try to actually look and type in voiceover and see what comes up, kind of like you would do if you were doing some research in Google. That will sometimes bring up some things, but for the most part, you're kind of guessing, right, based on what you think it would be or what's there in their categories. So what I did was, perfect example. Here's my example of what I did on one of them, which became very lucrative for me on Fiverr. I believe that I could get business in the audiobook arena on Fiverr, because no one else was really doing it. But of course, you can kind of do audiobooks two ways, right? You can do audiobook as one word and audiobook as two words, right? So just like voiceover is one word, voiceover is two words. Now, of course, if voiceover is two words, technically, like spelling wise, you're supposed to have a hyphen in there. But anyways, the point is people search for that, right? So I split a gig and I did two separate gigs, one with audiobook as one word, one with audiobook as two words. And that one decision, as I started doing like A/B testing, became my thing. And at one point I had 11, 12, 13 different gigs working. And what I found is that as I did this, if each gig got like 1,000 impressions, if I had 12, that's 12,000, right? So I was able to leverage all the different things that Fiverr was offering in the mode of like, because at that time I was level 2, so I could do 20. It's hard to get up to as many as you can, but that's what I was doing. I was split testing, and then I did things like voiceovers one word, voiceovers two word. I did things like TV, TV commercials, radio commercials. Like I was trying every single thing I could to find a way in, right? Because if you pull up Fiverr and you get on the front and you look at it and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to see who's in the front. So you go in the front and you see up at the top, male voiceover, female voiceover, or just voiceover in general. That's like the highest competition, right? That's the highest one. So when you're starting out, it makes no sense to try to dive into there, right? It makes no sense. So what I was trying to do was see if I could find a back door using long tail keywords and stuff like that, right? Through Fiverr, or things that I could pinpoint more accurately what people were searching for here or there. And as I did and have more coming and going, I got more business. And of course that boosted me up. So that's, like I said, at one time I had like 12, 13 gigs going, some of them, and I was split testing them to find out which one was working more. And it worked out really well. However, if you go to my Fiverr account now, you will notice that I don't have that anymore, because as a top rated seller, one of the things you have to do to move from that position to the next position is they don't want you to have similar gigs. But here's the thing. You'll notice that a lot of people who are not top rated sellers do have similar gigs, meaning like that was me, right? I was split testing. I had a few little different words in the title, but they both were audiobook gigs, right? But if you want to move from that second level to top rated seller, they want you to pull that back, because heaven forbid you've got 4 gigs that's the same thing and you just dominate a whole area. They don't want that happening. So I had to change my strategy when I went to the next level. So for you, it's the same thing. As a new beginner, up to level 1, level 2, each one has its own strategy. And it is up to you to figure that out, to test that. And I can tell you so much. And I know that other people are making money on other platforms, but I'm making a lot of money. If you're in my group, you've seen my stats. And what I'm trying to tell you is that it is real. It works. So don't throw the platform away and think that it's useless, or because someone says, oh, they charge $5, whatever. I don't charge $5 for anything. That doesn't mean you shouldn't when you start out, because when I started out, I did. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that split test on there. Try things. Fiverr didn't give you 5, 10, 20, 30 gigs for you to use 1 or 2. You can even try different pictures. You can try different copy. I mean, it's a great way for you to dive in. And here's another thing too, because I've been doing a lot of things about, I'm just going on a rant, so I apologize. But here's something that I think is important too. Don't be afraid of failing or trying new stuff on there, because that platform is so viable right now. It is in a place of such growth. I think we are just hitting the tipping point, that point between like 0 and 13 to 18%, where, you have the early adopters and everything. And then the tipping point, if you're into marketing, I think we're just there on Fiverr. I mean, it's about to go, once they've gone public, they've upped their game even more. And their offshoot company, learned they're growing. And that's become separate too, and that's growing really well. So Fiverr has a lot of good things going on, and if you position yourself right and dive into it hard, now I really believe that when everyone else floods in, when all the other voiceover artists run out of excuses to why they can't go on Fiverr and don't think there's money being made when they look at people like me, who I might possibly be making more money than a lot of them through that one platform. They're going to have a lot more people coming on to Fiverr. So it's important for you, I think, to get on it now. And to do that, really test some things out. Don't be afraid. Test out different pictures. You can change your title to your gig too. Change your title, change your keywords, change how you do your requirements, change it all. Go through it. You've got all these gigs, try them out. All right. So I just wanted to tell you that at that moment, I remember sitting down and that changed the course of the next year, which I went full time. So whereas I thought I wanted to go through it full time in 3 to 5 years, I ended up going in 2 years. And a huge part of that was me testing the snot out of different stuff on Fiverr. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I suppose if you have any questions, you can post it over here. Hey, everybody, I see Storm, I see DBK Voices, and a couple different other people. If you have any questions or anything about what I just talked about, feel free to post it over here. I think I can see it. I'll wait for a few moments. If not, I really appreciate it. And I'm going to try to come on live more because I think I really do enjoy it. And but hopefully that helped. And for you, don't wait. Don't say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Go and do it now, because more and more people are getting on there. Use the professional. Use the demo you have. Use a great picture. Use your good titles. Use your skills. All right. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you later. Goodbye.